definitely learning not to feed that need that I think that I have to always buy clothes and shoes and accessories.
I minimalize, but I think people have too much of these things, and it can change your life. And the answer is shoes. You see my shoes? No, I do have shoes, but I'm barefoot right now. I have these sandals here, and I would say I own maybe 2 to 3 pairs of shoes on a regular basis that I enjoy.
But you could use a new pair of shoes. I think we need to go shopping for some shoes for you.
And 2 to 3 shoes, how many shoes does somebody really need? How many pairs of shoes does somebody need?
Yeah, I probably have a lot of different shoes, but I do wear different shoes, maybe 2 or 3. I probably wear the same 2 or 3 pairs.
And I look at this and I think, if you're a man and you have a lot of shoes, I don't know about that one, but if you're a woman naturally has a connection to having many shoes. They just naturally do.
For that special occasion, these shoes go with this dress or something. I definitely have a few pairs like that.
Well, how many shoes is too much shoes?
I think being a woman, you like to have lots of clothes, and you want to have some choices for what you want to wear.
If you need a walk-in closet, chances are you have too much stuff, especially too much clothing, especially too much shoes. How many shoes do you have? Look, you only have 2 feet. You don't need 20, 30, 40 pairs of shoes. You might say that's excess. Nobody has that many pairs of shoes. Guess what? People have that many pairs of shoes. What is going on here? When I look at House Hunters, the show on TV, and I see people, they open up the closet, they go, there's not enough closet space. There's not enough closet space. We need a walk-in closet. Some of the rooms or some of the walk-in closets are bigger than the rooms I live in. All right, well, let's see what my wife has to say about this one and closets and closet space and having enough room and enough closets.
Well, I understand the walk-in closet. I mean, I like to be able to see everything and have it look organized, and you can have your shoes and stuff. I mean, I think that it is nice, but it's not a necessity, and that people kind of go overboard with their closets because they probably have way too much stuff.
A walk-in closet. It's like a whole nother room. What is going on here? How many clothes do you actually need? How many pairs of pants do you actually need? Or shirts does somebody actually need? There's not enough closet space. The closet's not big enough. There's not enough room in this closet. I can't find anything in this closet because I got too much junk in this closet. What is going on, people?
If you can get rid of some of your stuff, I don't think that you really need to have a big closet.
If you go to some countries around the world, the whole family will live in a room the size of some people's closets here in the United States. And people say there's not enough room in this closet. It's absolutely crazy what's going on.
When Paul and I first got married, we packed up my car to bring it here to Florida. And we had just gotten married. Everything I owned was in the car, and it was overflowing. I mean, from the back to the back seats, the windows, everything, it was just piled up, and there was just room for Paul and I, and his stuff also, because we were traveling across the country. And we decided to visit a community where everyone comes together, and they live together, and they all eat together, but they also share everything they own. So it was really funny that, our first few days on the road, we pull up to this community and our car's overflowing with everything we own. We thought it was pretty funny that, they're probably thinking, oh, look, what all the new stuff we're gonna have. But, we just stayed a few days and took all of our stuff home. But it was just kind of an ironic situation, I guess. So it was pretty funny.
If people didn't have so much stuff, they wouldn't have a need for so much room.
A few years ago, we tried to do a policy where we would only buy something new if we would get rid of something. And that worked for a little while, but I think I stopped getting rid of stuff, and now I just have a closet full of clothes.
They become junk collectors or collectors of things that aren't necessarily junk, but things that they don't need. So if you don't need the things, even if they're not junk, are they junk to you?
I mean, your closet is definitely a little different than my closet. You wear the same, 4 shirts over and over again. But that's okay. I don't mind what you wear. I like the shirts that you have and that you wear.
There are a lot of people out there that are needy, that are needing things, but there are even more people out there that have way too many things that they actually need. And these people actually complain they don't have enough. They want more. We want more and more and more, never satisfied with what they have. Then they get what they got and they say, well, I've already had that too long, so I got to get a new one. But it's not worn out yet.
And I know, over time you could collect a lot of things,
We'll talk about living space another day and how many bedrooms somebody needs or how big the bedroom has to be. Or even worse, the bathroom, how big the bathroom has to be. You're only going in there to, do the 3 S's, but why in the world? It's unbelievable. But closets.
I'm all for a big closet.
It's a dark room, that you're hanging up stuff that you're probably not going to use. It's a dark room of dust collectors. Most people have, surveys show that most people have, 75% of things in their closet they never even touch.
The people who do the organizing shows, they say that you wear about 20% of your actual clothes in your closets.
What survey? Well, my survey, because I know a lot of people that have big closets and a lot of things in them, and I never seen them wear their stuff that's in the closets. And I look in their closets and the stuff's collecting dust. That's all you need to know. So I'm here for houses without closets. Make another, oh, I wanted a 2-bedroom, so we're gonna have to add another room onto the house. Well, maybe if you took your clothes out of that giant walk-in closet, you'd have your room. And just add a window to it instead of adding a whole nother room to your house. But then we won't have enough closet space. Well, get rid of all the stuff you have. But I need all my stuff. People have so much stuff, they don't own their stuff owns them. Get rid of the stuff. There's a lady named Peace Pilgrim. She walked around the United States spreading the word of peace. She didn't own anything except a shirt, her pants, and a toothbrush. That's all she owned. And guess what? She didn't need a closet.
And I know, over time you could collect a lot of things. I definitely think that we could get rid of some stuff.
Houses without closets. Who's for it? All right, everybody, have a great day.
Have a great day and a great bra life.